Welcome to the Your Town television program. I'm your host, Gerald Vinci, author and owner of Vinci Digital Marketing. I have the privilege of sitting down with some of the best and brightest minds along the Monterey Peninsula. And on today's program, I'm sitting down with three professional development experts who deliver transformational change and empowerment in our personal lives, our careers, and our businesses. So I'd like to welcome Edward King to the show. He's the CEO and owner of Alliance Career Training Solutions in Salinas. So Ed, thank you. Welcome to the program.
Gerald, thank you for the invite.
So let's just get right into it and tell me a little bit about you and your business.
Well, Alliance Career Training Solutions has two major components.
Okay.
Our first component would be training individuals who work for companies. And we have contracts with everything from Taylor Farm to the County of Monterey. And what we do is we do software training in the areas of like Excel, Word, PowerPoint on a day-to-day basis, and it helps the employees become better engaged and better at doing their job. So that's one component. Our other main component is career training. So what we do is we are here to serve the community and the community as a whole. So we do career training that helps people find jobs in accounting and bookkeeping, in general office jobs, office management jobs, and a great deal of jobs in IT. So we do career training, and included in the career training, we include things like soft skills and how to write resumes. We help them find jobs, and then we support them for time after the job to make sure that they keep the job.
Wow, that's awesome. So what passions motivated you to start the school?
Well, I've always been in and around education. I've been a businessman for more years than I want to admit. But, you know, coming back into the area, I moved here from Texas, and I just saw a real need for putting people into jobs, and it was kind of like high-tech vocational training. So those things have been kind of left behind 20, 30 years ago, and most people have to go through school for 4, 6, 8, 10 years, and then do they really have the hard skills to do the job? And so what we do is we love seeing people's lives change. And that's been the whole thing that's motivated us.
Wow. Yeah. Are some of these courses, are they certified training courses? Or?
Good question.
Yeah.
In the career training, they do come out with certifications. And these certifications are not just our piece of paper. So like in the IT jobs, they'll get CompTIA certification for A+, which is hardware software, Net+, which is networking, Security+, which is a popular topic right now. We also provide Cisco CCNA. We provide a whole suite of the Microsoft server products. And those certifications are accepted internationally. So I've had some of my graduates go overseas and get jobs. In our other programs, like the QuickBooks, there's a certification that comes along with that. And then in the Microsoft Office suite, Excel, Word, Access, that's more of a hands-on, real-life general skill that people need to bring their skill sets up to the market that they're competing for right now. So it's a good training program.
Do you guys help with placement too?
Absolutely. We actually start about 6 weeks before their graduation dates, start helping them with resumes. We provide feeders into jobs, openings, 20, 30 jobs openings a week that we track down. And we try to customize exactly for employers that come and ask us. We find out what job that they really need and what level of skill that they're looking for, and then we match up good candidates for them.
So tell me more about the training facility itself.
Well, it's a small facility. We have 5 classrooms, and our largest classroom is 20. Our smallest classroom is 8, and then we have 8, 14, and 16, and another 8. And the reason why we like smaller classrooms is because our training is hands-on. It's also kind of one-on-one, so everybody gets the needs that they have filled by specific training for them. It's computer-based, we have smart boards, we have projectors, and so everybody follows along as they're being trained, but it's not just limited to follow the bouncing ball. It's customized.
Okay. That makes sense. So who makes up your core customers and students? I know we talked a little bit about the two common groups, but are there specific types of, certain types of software or types of customers that you get more common than others?
That's a good question. In the career training, what's awesome is we get a whole variety of people. We get people that are in their young 20s whose parents are saying, you need to go get a job. But Mom, I went to college, but I don't get a job skill.
Right.
But we also have like women who are coming back into the job market because they've been doing the good job of raising children, and now they're able to get back into the market, and they used to have a professional job, but that was 10, 15 years ago. So they come into our facility to bring their skills up to date. We've had people that have worked for a job for 20, 25 years, men and women, and then when that business closed down or when that job is no longer available to them, they've been stuck in an environment that they can't find a like job out there. So they need to go a whole new direction.
Right.
So we do a lot of that as well. We teach in Spanish class, not teach Spanish. What we do is we teach our software training in Spanish. So the 60% of the community that might be missed in other schools, we cover.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of college graduates that come back for any kind of retraining?
Sadly, I'd have to say yes.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, because they get college training, but it's not skill training.
Exactly.
It's not hands-on, boots on the ground, actual doing, and we help them in that particular area. So all of our instructors are been in the business for 20, 30, 40 years, so they have a lot to bring to the class.
Sure.
Yeah.
So how do you handle scheduling?
Well, in the career training, it's going to be an 18, 19, or a 26-week course.
Okay.
So you come Monday through Friday. You're either in the morning program or in the afternoon program. We haven't got to the point of doing evening programs because we're small, we're lean and mean. We're kind of a community based, so we're not profit oriented, where we're just pumping the students through. So they have to really commit to it. Now, on the other side of our house, which is the training for businesses, those classes are 1 day or 2 days. So they'll come in for Excel 1 on a Monday, and if they like to continue, because we have 6 layers of Excel, they could do it every other week or something like that. You don't want to go too fast. You want to practice. You want to absorb what you've learned before you move on.
Yeah. Do you see there being any kind of a night program in the near future?
Well, if we find the right instructors.
Yeah.
There's one thing about being able to teach. There's another thing that's special in our organization. It's the compassion to teach. Because when you're interested in changing people's lives, sometimes you have to go the extra mile. So some of my students that I'm working with right now, they're learning English better. And so, I have to include that in what they're learning, because like in accounting, we teach accounting. Accounting in itself is a language. Yeah. So you have English, and then add to that the accounting language. So now I'm taking someone whose first language was Spanish, and they're not bad at English, but now I'm trying to teach them a whole new language. So I take the time, we as a school take the time to fill that gap and not leave them behind in where they're going.
Sure. Yeah. How many of the instructors are bilingual?
And pretty much all of us.
Oh, wow.
Except for me. Yeah. Kind of the only white boy there. Sorry, didn't mean to say that.
So where do you find your instructors?
Well, a number of them have been doing this for, like I said, in this environment for the last 10, 15, 20 years. So, we just fortunately, they came to us as we opened up the school. We have found others through actually kind of stealing them from MPC and CSUMB, where either they've retired or they found another passion, and so we've brought them in from those organizations. But right now we're looking for some more, absolutely.
Any particular areas?
Well, I think the one area that I really need is Microsoft Office products. So the Excel trainer, Word, QuickBooks, not QuickBooks, we got that right now. But yeah, that and IT. We'd love to expand our IT programs.
Well, going back a little ways, what was your biggest challenge when opening the school?
That's a hot topic, isn't it? Well, just going out and, within the environment of business is to go out and explain to people what we're trying to do. because we're doing something that, you know, other schools don't try to do, and it's very hard for people, businessmen, to put their arms around like, oh, are you going to make profit and stay in business and all that. We were able to show them that we can. I think the second area that actually posed a bigger problem than we expected, which was the certifications by federal and state agencies, which we have now, you know, been certified by all the organizations that we need to. So we're able to take VA, we're able to take DOR, DOL, state-funded unemployment, all of that kind of stuff. But when we were told it would be about a 6-month process, it turned into about a 16-month process. Wow. And people that are interested in it now, the minimum time period is 3 years.
Wow.
And so you're looking at a really long development phase, and you have to be in business but not allowed to do business, and that's kind of a conflict.
That is tough. Yeah. So you were saying something in there. What about financing and options like that? How can people pay for the schooling, for the longer programs?
I think that's really a good question, because that's another area that we distinguish ourselves completely different. What we do is we find the funding, and we have found the funding for these programs. And so if it's a 26-week program, 18 or 19-week program, the cost of the student is nothing but their commitment. So we have found full funding for these programs. Unlike other programs that are, you know, might cost them $11,000, ours costs them nothing. And, you know, the give back is where we come from, because we're doing it kind of out of the love of my heart. I've been doing this for 2.5 years, never taken a paycheck, and that would be nice to change, but the reality is why we're there. So there's no cost to the students.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's excellent.
Yeah.
So what are some things that are working for you right now?
Job placement. Students being absolutely thrilled and satisfied. You can see it in their faces. You can hear it when they get the jobs and they call in and say, you know, celebrate with me, I've gotten a job. The other things that are lots of fun is potlucks. These students, because it's like a cohort environment where they all start together, they all end together, it becomes a mini family. And there was one day just a week or so ago where we had a potluck at 11:30, a potluck at 12:30, and a potluck at 2:30. Wow. I was not hungry by the time I got home from that day.
I'm sure.
Because they're all bringing in special dishes, and so that's a big part of us.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Are there any types of training courses you're planning to deliver in the future?
Well, I like that question because we had started out with a very, very strong IT security program, and we found many government facilities that were very much interested. They wanted to send us 30, they wanted to send us 50, but unfortunately, talk is big, and following it up with actually funding it from Washington, D.C. fell apart. So even though we did run a number of IT security classes, which is, again, a certification, we've kind of backed out of it. And I'd like to get back into it because the reality is we are at war. I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring that word up in this kind of a context, but IT security, everyone needs to participate. We have a really cool class called CyberSafe. It's designed for the employee level, the user. So you come in for a half-day or one-day program, and you're given the skills to be a little wiser when you're opening your email, a little wiser when you're clicking on a link. And so in essence, we have created a frontline program to help businesses like Taylor Farm, or businesses that are small, medium, large, and even individuals. Because I can tell you, we offer that if someone has a virus on their computer, bring it in. We'll use it as a class project in our IT program.
And tell.
Show and tell, and it's free to the user. We fix it, give it back to them. Doesn't cost $300 to go and have somebody remove a virus. And so it's a win-win for both of us. But we know that we could educate people so that they would lower their exposure. And this is very true for businesses. One of these days in the Monterey County, we are going to see a large business get shut down with some malware. There'll be ransomware, and it'll shut down the hospital. It's happened all over the country, and we haven't seen it locally. I think until it does happen locally, you know, people are just going to put it on the back shelf.
Yeah, they'll have a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
It is a scary thought, though, because it could happen at any time,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, there was a hospital in Hollywood, a major hospital, big hospital, and the malware people came in and shut down the whole thing and demanded a ransom. If you pay us, and it was only $14,000, but if you don't pay us this ransom, you cannot get to your patient's records, which is what happened.
Wow.
So
yeah,
could happen here.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Are there any plans, or have you thought about moving the training online too?
Well, we actually would say no to that. And here's the reason why. Is online training is convenient, but our online training is not effective. One of the biggest problems about online is, there's not a lot of interaction between the student and the instructor's source. Now, some classes fit that mold fine. And, you know, like driver, you know, you got a driving ticket, go do that, click the button, answer the questions at the end, you're fine. But the interactive nature that we have in an environment where you have the instructor right next to you, you can say, I'm stuck, can you help me? He or she stands next to you and shows you on the keyboard, this is how you fix it. The other thing is the benefit in a classroom environment with 8 or 10 or 12, where you hear someone else ask the question and you go, oh, that's a good question. You don't get that kind of work on online. So what we find with our one-day graduates, our long graduates, is the retention factor is so much better. What they learn is so much better, and they get to see it, they get to hear it, they get to do it, of which you really won't find online.
Yeah,
it's just not. It's good for some things. Yes.
Sure. Yeah. So how do you scale? What's your vision for kind of scaling things up a little bit without branching into the online world?
I like the question in this sense. We're more about quality than we are about quantity.
Right.
So, we need to get to an economic point of, stabilization, having everybody win, our students win, our staff win, and so on and so forth. So we do have the ability to expand it into a few more classrooms with the right instructors, which I'm certainly looking for. And that would be just providing the opportunity for more students. Because we're we are selective on our students coming in, we don't want to bring students in that really are just not really engaged. They're not bought into it. They're just looking for kind of a pass.
Right.
Extend their unemployment, or just, my parents are giving me a hard time, so I'm going to just do this to please them.
Sure.
Because that kind of just brings down the whole class. But at the same time, we know that there are more needs out there, like a nighttime situation. But my staff right now are booked. They're already working 40 hours a week. Right. They cannot work more. So I have to expand in that area.
All right. Well, we're about out of time. So if you can tell us real quick just where we can find you and to learn more.
Okay. Well, we are at 333 Abbott Street in Salinas, Suite B. Very easy to find, right off the freeway. We're open 8:30, 8 o'clock in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. Our phone number is 831-755-8200. All you have to do is stop in or call, ask about our programs, and we'll give you all the details.
All right.
All right?
So thanks for your time today, Edward. You've been watching the Your Town television program. I'm your host, Gerald Vinci. You can tune in to AMP Channel 27 or visit us online at yourtown.tv. Thanks for tuning in.